Hey guys, this is Felicia with OSR Garage. I'm coming to you today with a 2022 Ford Bronco Wildtrak in this beautiful eruption green color. This is on loan to us for the weekend from Heller Ford in El Paso, Illinois. Thanks guys for letting us take this. It's been a lot of fun. As the artist half of OSR Garage, I just want to do a quick run through and point out some of the styling details that I love about this Bronco. Now this one, as the Wildtrak package itself, has a base price of around $49,900. This one does have an additional package on it that adds about $1,200 and just gives you a few extra little tweaks. But starting here from the side, again, this paint color is really beautiful. I think it's super sharp. I think for the type of vehicle that it is, this has got to be one of the best paint colors out there. I think that it just came out for the 2022 models. I'm not sure about before that, and I'm not sure about next year, but this color is awesome. I think especially with the stance of this vehicle, the color really fits it. I like the way that they've added to the stance, the girth of it, by adding these roof racks up here, which of course if you use this vehicle for what it's for, you're gonna want these types of things on it for off-roading. You can run cables from here down to these holes on the front to help clear brush and things like that that you would use for honest off-road use. There are some design features that I dislike for everyday use, and I'll kind of go over some of those as well. But moving forward here, I really like all of the badging that Ford has for all the Broncos and the Bronco Sports. They're really cool, unique, but simple at the same time. I think they look really great, and I think that they add a nice design element to both lines of vehicles. One of the things I noticed about this in particular is you can remove the doors, of course, which is super fun. The roof comes off in sections, which is great. The mirrors, I believe on Jeeps, are attached to the doors, so when you remove the doors, you don't have the side mirror. But if you'll notice, this one's attached to the actual vehicle, which is nice because when you remove the doors, you still have this mirror available to use. Moving forward, the Wildtrak series does come with this extra wide fender here, which gives it an even larger stance, and 35-inch tires. These are some beefy tires. I wouldn't want to know the price to replace these, but we've got the 4, and then there's one on the back, the spare, that we'll show you as well. I really love the lighting on the front of this vehicle. It's LED lighting. It's kind of around in a circle here, and then it's also got this light bar that kind of goes through it. Makes it a really interesting look that you don't see from any other vehicle. This bumper is modular. There's lots of holes and places to add aftermarket parts, which this bull bar is one of those parts that was added. I don't like it in particular just because from a design element it blocks this really awesome Bronco logo, which is great on this gloss black with the white letters. I really like the contrast there, so I'm not too fond of this. And then if you come on to the hood, there's this great sort of matte black badging up here with the gloss Wildtrak logo again on the top. And then if we want to come on around to the back, we also have on the side again that same Wildtrak kind of mountainous sticker with the gloss Wildtrak logo. On the back we do get the full-size spare, which like I said is that nice beefy 35-inch tire. The back opens from the side. It does have a auto assist. Now, if this is something you're gonna use for everyday life, this 2-door doesn't have the best cargo space back here. It's honestly maybe a couple feet deep. It's not real deep. It's not something that's gonna be super useful. The seats do fold down, And one of the unique features that Ford has done to give you a little bit more space is the bottom of the seat will flip up, and then you can lay the seat down flat, but it does still have a step down into the cargo area. So you're still going to have a little bit of difficulty if you're hauling, you know, say like things from the lumber store or something like that. It's not a completely flat surface, but it does give you a little bit more cargo area. And then this top part also opens up. You can see a little bit better how small the cargo space is. We've got some speakers back here on the bars. Now this particular vehicle does not have the Luxe package. If it were me, I would get the Luxe package. I'm not sure on the pricing on that, but it does add the B&O stereo system and some other qualities that are really nice to have on an everyday vehicle. So the sound system in this guy isn't super great. We'll go ahead and go around and I'll show you how difficult it is to get in and out of the back seat of this two-door Bronco. I want to go ahead and demonstrate the step side, and I'm also going to demonstrate getting in and out of the back seat. It might be okay if you have children for them to get in and out of it every once in a while. It's not something that's convenient for everyday use. It's also a little bit inconvenient for if you're putting packages in the back. We've noticed that it's a little bit hard to access from the side. So first of all, this step, when you step up onto it, you know, you've got a handle here. That's not super helpful for getting in and out. This truck, I'm 5'6", is a little bit high for me to just step up into, but this step side is not helpful. It brings you up if you actually step onto it, up above the height of the vehicle, so it's just a little bit awkward. So getting into the back, there's a button, a little lever on the back of the seat here. Just pulls it up and then it slides forward. So this is the amount of space you're looking at. And when I get back there, I do want to get a shot. So, I don't know, a little difficult. I do want to get a shot in here of the back seat. It actually is fairly roomy once you get back here. It's not a super small space. You can see that I still have plenty of leg room here, and you know, plenty of room just for like a short trip or something. This would not be comfortable for a long trip or anything like that. I definitely wouldn't recommend if you have a child in a car seat or something. It would be nearly impossible to get to. But that's really not the kind of vehicle you're buying when you look at a two-door Ford Bronco. So I think it's adequate back here. Getting out is really challenging. And not pretty. So let's go ahead and have a look at the inside. As you can see, I completely avoid that step, but I think what that's gonna do is allow for a lot of wear and tear on the side of the seat here, because I'm putting all my weight on this bolster here, and I think over time, it's really gonna wear it down. All right, so now we're on the inside of the Bronco two-door, and after a couple of days driving this, I'm used to its size. It's a little weird because it is such a large vehicle from the outside, but once you're inside, it feels really narrow and small. I think part of that is this roof, which is detachable, and that's awesome. But I think that we get a little used to glass roofs nowadays, so it kind of just feels like it's closing in on you. So that's a little bit, I don't know what you can do about that, but that's just not something that I really like. This Bronco comes with that additional package I was talking about, and so it does have some extra sound deadening insulation up here, but still, if you're driving in the wind, really if there's not much of a wind, it's pretty loud. So I do recommend getting that Luxe package with the B&O stereo system, because it gets pretty loud in here. But some of the design elements that I like, I do enjoy the look of this dash. I think it's very military, and I think that's fitting to the vehicle. I do wish that they would have upgraded like some of the materials that they're using here. If this is something you're gonna go off-roading a lot in and getting it dirty and things like that, it is going to clean up nice. So that really just comes down to preference. I like the badging here that they have embossed on to the dash. And then I have noticed some other design elements that are kind of cool. They've used the sky blue color here on the vents. And then if you notice, it carries on to the bars that you use for extra handling here and on the sides of the dash, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then actually in the seats, there is that blue stitching. You just kind of barely notice it on the black parts of the seat. So I do like that Ford took the time to pay attention to that little detail of adding that little bit of color differentiation to the inside of the vehicle. Personally, with this awesome eruption green color, I would have liked to see like orange or something like that. I think that would have been really cool. But this does come with vinyl seats. They're fairly comfortable. I did notice when driving around with the suspension is actually a lot better than I would have imagined. I guess I had like a Jeep kind of feel in mind, and this does ride a little bit smoother, which is nice, but it is still a little bit of a bumpy ride, and I was definitely sliding around a lot in these seats. They're not real bolstered in to really hold you in, so I don't know how great they're gonna be when you're bouncing around off-road. I would like to see a little bit more cushion and contouring in them. For the most part, though, they're okay. They're comfortable. Moving on to the armrest here, I've noticed that it's not really an armrest. I don't know my size or what, but I don't really have any space for my arms. The armrest here is really small. This armrest is just awkward. It's not really where it feels like it should be. The other thing about this, the design of this, that I don't enjoy is the lack of storage. So if this is just your fun vehicle that you're going to take out, that's fine. But if this is something that you're also going to use in your everyday life, I don't think it has adequate storage or room for anything. This armrest is really small inside. I guess it's fairly deep, but it's pretty small. We don't have the option in this one for any sort of wireless charging or anything like that. We've just got the 2 cup holders. In the back, there's 2 cup holders just molded into the side plastic, and that's it. And then there's a little cubby here. Again, no storage or anything like that. I do like this little emblem here. I think is a nice little design idea, which normally appears up in the dash with your serial number and things like that. I like how they put this here. It's sporty and again, kind of like a military sort of feel, which I think is pretty cool. I like the shifter design. They've got the little Bronco on here, and I think that detail is nice. It's nice and smooth. If you know anything about Ford, you know about their GOAT modes, and this is really easy to use. I like the design of it. I like how easy it is to reach. As far as driver comfort, again, the seats are a little bit slippery, but everything, the steering wheel is adjustable. I can see the instrument cluster fine. They did, for some reason, incorporate just a small infotainment type screen into the dash, which I kind of dislike. And then it has the analog speedometer, which is a little weird because there's also the speed on that little screen. So I'm not sure what they were thinking there, but it's doable. The buttons on the steering wheel are easy to use. I always like the presence of knobs over controls only on the infotainment screen. I like that Ford keeps that pretty consistent in most of their vehicles, and they're really easy to reach. They're really easy to use. They've done a great job locating everything so that the driver can easily use it. So most of the Broncos have just a 10-inch infotainment screen, but this particular one has that 353A high package that I was talking about for the additional $1,200 that includes a few different things within the vehicle. And one of those is this larger infotainment screen. This one is 12 inches. I feel like it maybe could stand to be a little angled or something. I don't know, it just feels really flat. And I'm not sure if that's just the overall design of the vehicle as a whole making it feel that way, but it's still, you know, fairly easy to use from where you're sitting. These buttons here, I don't know a whole lot about these. I think design-wise, they look great on the dash. They integrated them nicely. The auxiliary buttons up here that you can use for aftermarket wiring, I think are really located in a great spot. They're easy to use, and I think that they did a good job designing these. The sun visors are, I've actually never really been in a vehicle that you can take the top off of, not for a long time anyway, and so they are a lot different from regular sun visors. They're super sturdy and strong, and you can just tell that they're going to be really durable, which I like, but they've still left the mirrors in, which as a lady, I'm enjoying. That's a good thing. Overall, I think that the styling of this vehicle is really nice. I think that they did a good job with little design elements that kind of keep you interested in the vehicle and in the design. So I've really enjoyed looking at and driving this vehicle. I hope that we've given you some information to think about. We want you to like and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing these videos to you. Otherwise, that's all I have for the 2022 Ford Bronco, and have a great day.